That made for not a very cute backdrop, so I just moved it. Alright, had to turn my big old shop fan off so you could actually hear me. Behind me is the lovely workshop. So, hello. Give me a minute. I'm going to log on my computer so I can see comments. I'm also going to see if I can share this to the page. I'm not sure if I can from outside of the group. But my bestie's daughter, who does this with me, she's one of the original Craft Kit of the Month members. And so she was trying to see it, and she couldn't get in the group, didn't have a Facebook account because she's in middle school, you know. So it's anyway. So we're trying to see if we can get it figured out. She's pretty resourceful though. I think we've got it figured out that she's going to get logged in with her mom or grandmother's account, so then she can request to join the group, which means I need to double check. Make sure I don't have any outstanding member requests. I approved quite a few earlier this morning. Doesn't look like I have any. How are you guys on this Thursday afternoon? Got a few of y'all watching already. Oh, let me text her mom back real quick. All right, so Keely, if you got logged in, comment, let me know. I know it'll probably show up as your mom or grandma's name, but I know them too. So if y'all are having any trouble or the live feed is spotty or anything like that, let me know. Looks good. I'm loving this upward angle of the camera. I'm the worst at taking cute selfies. But like this upward angle is pretty flattering. I'm happy with it. Sorry. As I don't see myself in pictures much, right? I take the pictures of things. I'm not in them as much, so which I'm sure is true for a bunch of y'all. If you've noticed, I got some fresh hair color going on. This is a new one for me, the green in the front there. My husband's company is Monster Arcades. He builds custom arcade machines. They're really awesome for people with fabulous basements, things like that. So he has an arcade expo, and stop looking at me like that. He's in the other side of the workshop working. He has an arcade expo August 20th, 21st, and 22nd at the Galleria, the Cobb Galleria outside Atlanta. It's called Southern Fried Gaming Expo. You're in the shot too, so you might as well just say hi. So we'll be there. I'll be there at the expo with him, with his business. He's going to take a whole bunch of his cool arcade machines, and I'm going to make a bunch of acrylic LED signs that I'm going to take. But yeah, if I was going to go to the arcade expo, I had to be making sure I had fresh, bright, colored hair, right? You know, I'll fit right in at the arcade expo. So I am glad that y'all are here. Hi. Okay, I see Jane said hi, which must be Keely, so she made it on, and Kim said hi. Hey, Kim. I am glad to have y'all here. So I think we're probably ready to get started. I'm gonna have to change the angle of the camera a little bit so we can see what I'm doing. Go ahead and unpack your stuff, and get yourself a cup of water for your paintbrushes, because you know, especially if you've done this a couple months, you might have a few brushes already saved up. You can use them again and again for all your mini craft projects. So get yourself a cup of water to stick your paintbrushes in so they don't get gross and dried. Get all your paints out. You got cups of paint. And I had a customer who had mentioned that she had some of the cups open in the Ziploc bag a couple of times. And I appreciated her telling me that, because as far as I know, everything's arriving just fine. So please let me know. And so this time we taped them to try to help hold the tops on. So let me know if any of y'all had any problems with any of the cups opening. We are happy to ship out some fresh paint. And this time too, you got a full bottle of white because this whole thing is going to be white. So instead of filling up a couple cups, I just gave you, because these are 1 ounce cups, 2 ounce bottles. So I just gave you the whole 2 ounce bottle. Oh, so Keely, your brown opened up. Okay, so this time we put like stack 2 or 3 together and taped that way. I think we might just tape individually. That'll probably be the easiest. But I'll use like a thinner tape, not my big fat packing tape. So I will work on it. Good news though is the brown is used very minimally. All you need the brown for is the 3 stems of the pumpkins, and because you can use the bronze for the hello instead of brown there. So you don't have to, you just have to, like, you know, it's in the bag. Use one of your little sponges, get it out of the bag, but it's just 3 little stems that have to be brown. So at least if anyone had to leak, I guess that's the best one to leak. I'm sorry about that. We will probably be able to make it work. So go ahead and unpack everything, get it ready. I need to grab my parts and move the camera around a little bit. Believe it or not, I may have completely forgotten to cut enough for myself. I have olive pumpkin 2 here and olive pumpkin 3, because you should have gotten pumpkin 1, 2, and 3, and they're numbered on the back so you don't mix up the pieces. I'm not sure I have enough for pumpkin 1 for myself. So my pumpkin 1 may have like 1 or 2 pieces for now until I cut more after the live paint. I'll get it finished. Nope, that's a pumpkin. Word. I also have a bucket of random pumpkin pieces, so we might play a little pumpkin puzzle over here and get it figured out. But the first thing we got to do is the white paint. So you're going to go ahead and get out your white paint. I would suggest, here we go, that you're just going to pour it on here. You're going to use most of the whole bottle, but it's 2 coats, so obviously don't pour the whole bottle to begin with. But just go ahead and get some paint on there. Ooh, and it is hot in this workshop. I think the hair is about to get pulled up. Ooh, much better. Right, so we're starting with the white, spreading it out here. I hope y'all are having a good Thursday. I know I kind of keep switching up my time. Sometimes I do them at night, sometimes I do it during the day. But I think maybe that helps, you know, different people be able to participate, because some people during the day is better. Because at night, you know, they're putting their kids to bed or things like that, right? But for some people, you know, they're at work during the day, so unless they got a super flexible schedule, they're not able to watch while they're working. So I like to switch it up. We'll do some night ones and some day ones, and of course I always save the video so you can re-watch later. There it is. I'm trying to figure out where my apron is so I don't get paint on my shirt. Surprisingly, both these pieces of clothing don't have paint on them yet, so I'm going to try to keep it that way. And I hope all of y'all were able to, oh, I see a member request to join the group. Let me go ahead and approve that. Keep painting your white. Yeah, I decided to do the live in the group. If you notice, I changed the name of the group too. Instead of Shop with Julie's Woodcrafts, I made it Julie's Woodcrafts DIY Divas. Yes, let me approve Jessica. Oh, and Candace. Yep, I know they got Craft Kits of the Month. I remember their names. And actually I met Candace because we accidentally only set one out for her. And she ordered two, so I had to grab a second one to take to her. Right. Looks like I added them to the group, so hopefully Jessica and Candace found us and they're getting on the live video here soon so they can paint with us. Yay! I love to know people are out there painting with me. All right. There we go. Get our white all spread out here. And you're going to have a couple of options when you finish the background all white. Some of the painted, the Hello Pumpkins that we've done like for stores, some of them we've just kept the back solid white. If you like that, it's a little lighter, brighter, crisper, cleaner, not quite like, doesn't really give it like a distressed farmhousey feel. So you could leave it just white, but I added a little bit of dry brushing to my original one that like I posted the pictures of for this Craft Kit of the Month. It's part of the reason you got this brush, because it's going to be our little dry brush for adding some just a little bit of color. Kind of makes it look distressed, not that we're actually distressing it. Make sure too you paint around your edges. That is going to make it look finished. All right, looks like we had a couple more people join us. Hopefully that's Candace and Jessica that I was able to get added to the group. Hopefully they were able to join us to paint theirs. Alright, let me spread out my paint. I got a little thick in a couple areas. This is just our first coat. And if you're going to be doing the dry brushing technique where we add a little bit of color over it like I've done on previous craft kits, you know, you don't have to worry about your coats being 100% coverage. But if you are going to paint it just solid white and not add any dry brush color, you want to make sure you've covered it well. Alright, so there's our first coat. We're going to give it some time to dry. So I'm going to move it out of the way and we're going to start painting some of our words, and then we'll bring it back out when we're ready to work on the next part. Oops. Oh, don't forget the edges. Alright, let's pull out our Hello Pumpkin. Alright, so the letters for pumpkin are going to be, ironically enough, pumpkin orange. You want to make sure that you've got them flipped the right way and that you can spell. That you got them flipped the right way, so you're painting the fronts. If you're not sure, sometimes you can see a little bit of burn marks on the back from the laser. Not always though, but to be sure that you've got them like flipped the right way, because obviously you could turn the end around. Line it up with the outlines on your round that you just painted white. I know the outlines are a little bit harder to see now that you've painted it white. You should be able to look and see that you've got, you know, like the end facing the right way. So use those etched lines on the round to help you, you know, line things up, make sure you've got the right pieces, that sort of thing. All right, so I'm gonna start with Hello Pumpkin. You got pumpkin orange in one of your craft kit, paint cups. That one drain down. And then the other thing that's going to be pumpkin orange is our pumpkin number 3. It's the pumpkin on the right. And the way the colors are set up is the bronze color is for pumpkin 1 on the left. The teal color is for pumpkin 2, the big one in the middle, and the orange color is for pumpkin 3 on the right. All right, so with the fat end of my sponge here, I'm going to dab on our pumpkin orange to our pumpkin letter. And I know some of y'all do this enough. You've got your own brushes and things like that that you might like to use. I still do not mind the sponges. They're easy. All right, so I know I mentioned the group name change, and now I'm going live in the group instead. What I discovered about the group is that I think I'm going to post more in there. It's a smaller group than the page, and the page kind of gives people just like an overview of what Julie's Woodcrafts is, what we offer, where you can find us, like retail locations, shows, website, that kind of thing. Whereas the Julie's Woodcrafts DIY Divas group, even though it's a smaller group, you know, it's people that are obviously interested in being here, right? Because you chose to join the group. And I started adding just a couple questions for people to ask. It helps me know y'all a little bit better as far as what you like. Do you like doing the DIY part? Do you like buying pieces painted already? Lots of people are actually answering both, which is great because you can get both from us. And I love that some of y'all on occasion want to do the DIY stuff, for sure. And it probably depends on time too, right? Like time of the year, what you have going on, if you're busy in that time of the year or not, as far as whether you pick the DIY stuff. So, so the group I'm going to try to interact with more. I just feel like it's a group, right? Like, I know you guys, especially the ones who have commented a bunch or who buy the craft kits, like, I know your name. Maybe I don't know your face, but I know your name. And so I'm going to be doing a lot more of what I had been doing on my page in the group now. And so I'm thinking that'll kind of change the way I'll get to interact with y'all a little bit more, and I will like that. All right, so my pumpkin's done with the first coat. Since we've got the orange out, I'm gonna go ahead and grab out pumpkin 3. So yours might be all together in one bag, or you might have 3 separate bags, but you'll know they're the pieces for pumpkin 3 because they will have the numbers 3 written on the back of all of them. Try to make your life easy. But if for some reason they're not, you have to play a little pumpkin puzzle with the outlines on your round and try to get it to match, like figure out which pieces match which pumpkin. I thought that would be a little bit more work than you want to do. So that's why we numbered. Ooh, hello. There we go. So that's why we numbered them. All right, so here are my pumpkin 3 pieces. They all say 3 on the back, so then you know where the back is too. So flip them over, so you're gonna be painting the front. And the one that looks like this, that's the stem. Right, it's got a 3 on the back, that's the stem. So you're gonna paint this one brown. So set that aside, we're not gonna do it orange. Not the end of the world if you paint it orange, but find your stem, set it to the side. That's not gonna get painted orange. These will get painted orange. And also with the group, if y'all have a question, if you're painting something and you have a question, post it there. And I will answer as quickly as possible. I'm gonna try to be more active in the group so that like I'll get the notifications and all that and answer as quickly as possible. You can always message me, but posting in the group's not bad because honestly, if you got a question when you're painting something, somebody else probably does. So you can always post in the group with a question. And then I'll do all my product launches in the group now. So when I've got new items, y'all will be the first to hear about it. So that's another advantage of having the group. Ooh, that piece is tiny. I'm gonna end up with orange paint all over my fingers. Y'all should have seen me and Gloria trying to match all these pieces up before I figured out like the best way to cut things on the laser. So I wouldn't have a whole bucket of tons of pumpkin pieces and we had to try to fit them together. I got a better system than that figured out because we were having quite the time matching up pumpkin 1, pumpkin 2, pumpkin 3. It's a learning experience, you know, you always get better. All right, looks like my pumpkin letters are for the most part dry, so I'm gonna come back and do my second coat. One thing I would love to hear from y'all about is when you're ready to see stuff. So for example, let me check. Oh, that's still soft. Okay, good. They want it to dry out on me. I am going to start posting all the Halloween stuff we have available. Some designs we had last year and then some new designs. I have a really cute one that says Hey Boo. Very excited about that one. Those will be posted in just a few weeks, about 3 weeks at the beginning of September. So it gives you plenty of time to order and us to get it to you before October. So you can get it on your door for October or in your house or you know wherever you're going to be putting it. So Halloween is coming out at the beginning of September, end of August. I'll start making posts about, and you'll see like I made a post in the group the other day about the cauldron with the it's all a bunch of hocus pocus, you know, because someone had asked for that and we had them ready to go because we're trying to get ready for the seasons ahead of time. So you know, not that we can't make you one now if you want to get your Halloween stuff now, but like I'll officially kind of start posting them in a few weeks. If y'all think that timeline is good, if y'all want all things Halloween right now, let me know. I thought I'd kind of focus on fall stuff for the next few weeks, then have a couple weeks of Halloween stuff, and then we'll also then come back to like fall stuff. And then Christmas too. So that's really where I was trying to go with this question. When do y'all want to see Christmas? That's what I want to know. I've got some cute ideas. Again, some designs for last year, but also a lot of new designs. If you love the movie Christmas Story, we love that in my family. I've got a really cute door hanger for that one in the works. I have not made it yet, but I got plans. So, and I've got some great ideas for some little table decor type pieces. So if you're looking for more decor than just door hangers, we're starting to add some of that in, like signs and then table decor type pieces, like stand-up, three-dimensional kind of pumpkins and ornaments and things like that. So I'm going to do stocking tags too. Super excited about the stocking tags. I don't know if any of y'all got in on our Easter basket tags that we did back at Easter. They were so popular and I loved making them. Customize things for your kids always make me happy. I love getting to do that stuff. So we're going to do stocking tags. And I haven't decided exactly how many designs yet, but yeah, so what I really want to know from y'all is, when are you ready to start seeing Christmas stuff? I mean, do you want me to start sneaking it in come September? For some of y'all, I want to see it right now. Yeah, so definitely let me know in the comments or post in the group when you start like to see Christmas or Halloween. All right. Now I'm going to work on the second coat on our pumpkin number 3. Double check, make sure I don't have any member requests. Nope, we're good. Since I just started doing this in the group, I wanted to make sure I approved people in the group in time. So September, Kimberly, are you saying September for Halloween? That's good. Or are you cool with me peppering in some Christmas stuff in September? So are you saying Christmas in September is okay? I mean, I know Hobby Lobby's got it out already, right? Like, I swear they put that stuff out in July. Last month, my Hobby Lobby most definitely did. Yeah, so I mean, I can obviously do a lot of fall and Halloween, and just on occasion for y'all Christmas lovers, go ahead and start peppering in some Christmas stuff in September. Kim says both. All right, I'm here for it. Let's do it. Now that means I gotta finalize my designs, which is always the hardest part, like getting the ideas I got, right? Like tons of them. Can't make them all. There's only so many hours of the day, right? So now I've gotta like narrow it down and be like, okay, these are what I'm choosing to make for this season. Now you're gonna make me have to choose, Kimberly. That's been one of the hardest parts about this craft kit of the month too, is picking one. So I'm like, oh, but this one's cute, and that one's cute. So there's a lot that goes into what we choose for the craft kit of the month too. Okay, so before we paint this, let's check our round and see if it's ready for the second coat. Oh, you're a Christmas Story fan too? Okay, so you know on Christmas Day, or like it starts Christmas Eve, I don't know if you know this, but I think probably most Christmas Story fans do. They play 24 Hours of Christmas Story on one of the TV channels, but I remember. And we always have it playing Christmas morning. Always have it playing. So yeah, super excited about our Christmas Story door hanger. All right, let me check my round. Mine's looking ready for coat number 2. So So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. So find yourself a place to move the pieces you just painted. Give yourself some room. And I'm gonna go ahead and do our second coat on the round. Pieces. All right, let's get our hello and our stem for pumpkin 3 out of the way. All right, and then let's get the round back. Oh, double check, make sure you don't have wet paint where you put it, otherwise your nicely already painted white backside is going to get some orange spots on it. Oh, that came out kind of fast. I do have to remember with my business, because I do a lot of DIY stuff, that I do have to get things out a little bit earlier, you know, because it's not already finished. You got to get it and then find the time to finish it yourself before you get it hung up and in use. So that's another reason I can definitely do stuff a little bit earlier. And I hope that for you guys, like it is for me, that crafting and DIYing is a bit of a stress reliever. I mean, I really think it definitely is that for me. I don't know about any of y'all. Stretch that. I know enough women my age and around my age to know we have a hard time turning our brains off sometimes, especially if you're going through something tough in your life, right? And it's just always in your head. And something about crafting something, and I like to keep it simple because I don't even want you to have to think too hard about it. Like, I just want you to enjoy. And for me, it really is a time that I can relax, I enjoy it, and my brain shuts off about anything else going on in my life. I'm not thinking about my business or thinking about, you know, my kids or worrying, I should say. It's always good to think about your kids. Like worrying about what's going on with either of my boys, you know, or because they're grown and out of the house now, so there's it's a whole different level of worry, you know, as they're in their adult lives, as much as two 21-year-old boys can be. So I really hope it is that for you. You know, I'm not a mental health therapist or anything. Like, you're not gonna get that from me. I had to work on my own first, right? But I just hope that it is that for you, because it is that for me. And it does provide me some solace. And then when you're done, you get to look at what you created, and it's just such a great feeling. And then anytime someone compliments you on it, you know, they come over to your house and they see it on your door or whatever, you make something that, you know, is sitting on your mantle, and they're like, that looks great. And you're like, thanks, I made it, right? So just every time you get a little feel good out of it. So that's really what I hope this provides for y'all when you get the DIY stuff. And when you don't, I get it, life's busy, right? Sometimes you can't DIY it, you don't have the time for that. or it looks like something that you think maybe you couldn't do or whatever, right? I get that. We're happy to, Gloria and I will be here making it for you, for sure. We don't mind that part either. All right, so I'm pretty good with my second coat, I think. So now we're gonna set it somewhere to dry again. Those of you who are gonna keep it solid white, you might come back with another light white coat. I'm gonna dry brush a little bit onto it, so I'm okay if it's not 100% solid. But you can make that decision after this dries. All right, let's pull out our Hello and our Pumpkin 1, because they're the same color. It's the bronze. So you're looking for the bronze looking paint cup. All right, you are welcome to start painting your Hello. I'm gonna catch up in a second because I gotta find the other pieces for my Pumpkin 1. So I'm a hot mess, right? I'm supposed to be in charge of this and I don't even have all my Pumpkin 1 pieces. All right, I'm gonna play a little pumpkin puzzle over here with the etched lines. But y'all can start the Hello in bronze. Alright, I'm getting there, y'all. Getting there. Ha! Here we go. I think I need 2 more pieces and a stem. That's the big stem. Ooh, short stem. Got it. That's that one. All right, I think I just made my Pumpkin 1. I think I got all the right pieces here. This one I'm not 100% sold on, but we'll see when I go to try to glue it on. Y'all, for real. That was such a mess. Alright, so you're painting it bronze. I'm going to try to play catch up now. Oh, and we're done with this one with the orange, unless you think something needs a second or third coat. But if you want to save it, put it in the water. If not, you don't have to worry about a thing. And I'm done with my white, so I'm going to go ahead and put my white brush in the water because I'm going to save that. If you think you might want to touch up like third coat, save it out. Alright, bronze. Let's go. I love this bronze color. For an acrylic craft paint, it's got a lot of really pretty metallic to it, especially after it dries. It doesn't look quite as metallic as you think when you're painting it, but when it dries, it looks really great. A nice little shimmer. You of course want to be careful with the Hello. It's a little bit fragile, and if anything ever breaks in shipping, let me know. We will ship one out to you ASAP. try to package it as nicely as possible, but things just happen with the post office sometimes. And then your pumpkin 1 is your bronze pumpkin. So go ahead and paint your pumpkin 1. And the bronze actually covers pretty well. So you don't even have to do a second coat with it unless you decide you want to. You might be getting to hear my husband's business call in the background. I mean, I'm in the workshop, so work is going on. That's what happens here. Making wood crafts and arcades and acrylic signs. He's talking about computers right now. The whole electronics industry is nuts, and since he puts computers in all of his arcade systems, he's had like a really tough time finding certain components when he likes to build graphics cards, like run all the games. I only know about all this stuff because of his interest in computers. I have zero interest in building computers. But yeah, so he has to like scour the internet, go to all his usual stores, try to get a hookup. Don't paint the stem, it's going to be brown. And make sure, of course, you were painting the fronts. I forgot to mention that. The one's written on the back, paint the other side. All right. You can take a look and see what you think about as far as second coats. The metallic does dry faster too. But I mean, I think it looks pretty good. I'm not sure that I need it. But I'll take a second look at it in a minute. All right, we'll set our stem to the side. Leftover coffee I still haven't finished from this morning. I don't know about y'all, but some days, I mean, I love my coffee, but do y'all ever just, you find out it's 1:15 in the afternoon and you're still drinking your coffee? Oh, I'm glad you like it, Jane / Keely. Yeah, the bronze is pretty. And you'll see when it dries, it's really nice. Okay, so pumpkin 2, that's your big pumpkin. Right in the middle, this one we're gonna paint that beautiful teal color. Go ahead and pull out your pumpkin 2. 2's written on the back, so flip them all over. So you're going to paint the front. This is the stem. So set that one to the side, we're gonna paint it brown. All right, so we got our stems. Let me pull over my other stems. So they're my group of 3 stems for painting brown later. All right, this one is going to be that beautiful teal color. It's actually a different brand of craft paint than I normally use. I normally use Anita's for everything, but this color was awesome. It's from Folk Art, but I liked it way better than a couple of the Anita's options. Just start with a fresh one. Whoops. For pumpkin 2, the last of the pumpkins. This one, the pieces are so big, I'm kind of, instead of just dabbing the paint on, I'm kind of swiping it on. the dabbing works well when you've got smaller pieces, for sure, like all the letters. This one you will want to do 2 coats, in my opinion. Some of y'all might like the fact that you can kind of still see the wood grain through after the first coat. So, I mean, it's your door hanger, right? Do what you want. But I'm going to do 2 coats, so I got a nice solid teal. And on the DIY sheet you get with your craft kits, if you ever see a color you really like, I've used the correct name in there, so you can go and find it. You can look it up online, but I get mine from Hobby Lobby because we are lucky enough to have a Hobby Lobby in our town. I know not everybody is as blessed as we are, right, to have our Hobby Lobby. But yeah, if you like a color and you've got some other project you're doing, they're almost always Anita's acrylic craft paints, but it's on the DIY sheet. If it's something else, I'll let you know. Oh, I don't use Anita's white. I don't think it covers as well. Whenever you get white, oh wait, this was Anita's, because you got the little, but when I buy in bulk this Delta Ceramcoat, it's a good one. When I put it in the little cups for y'all. But Anita's have these nice little bottles that I got. All right, I'm gonna take one last look at my Hello and my Pumpkin 1, see if I need any more bronze anywhere. Be careful because you probably have some of that teal on your fingers. Don't put it on your bronze pumpkin. I'm happy with the bronze. My teal looks to still be a little wet, so I'm not going to do second coat yet. Let's go ahead and pull out the brown so we can do the stems. Definitely do not need a lot of this. And to save a sponge, I'm just going to flip my bronze one over and use the little side. I can't remember how many sponges I sent y'all. If you have any left over, they're actually makeup sponges, so you can always use it for that. I don't use that kind of makeup. I've never been a makeup person. I don't even know what type of makeup takes a sponge. I guess it's like a foundation, right? And apparently there's like all sorts of foundations and different layers of things. Look, I'm the most uneducated person on makeup, so I don't know. But if you need it, you can use it as a makeup sponge. I always have like mad respect for people who can do beautiful makeup, and it looks fun, right? Because I mean, it's a way to be creative, right? It's an artistic expression in ways, right? Just not me. That's not my abilities at all. I did actually put the most amount of makeup I ever put on for you guys today. Mascara and blush. That's it. This is my fancy face. All right, I'm gonna set that down, and I'm gonna go back to my teal. And the pieces that look dry enough and are ready for a second coat, I'm gonna do it. I appreciate y'all sticking with me. Or I know some of y'all had to go, other things to do. Those of you who joined late, or if you're watching on the rewatch, please say hi. I'll check the comments later tonight for my people who need to watch at night. Try to do these about an hour, but seems like I go over a lot. Looks like we're coming up precariously close to the hour mark. But we are almost done painting all our pieces. I'm going to touch up this brown, give it a little bit of a second coat in places. We will likely not be ready to glue on at the end of the video because I'm going to pull the round back out and do some of my dry brushing on it. So it may still be a little damp, and some of our recently painted pieces may be a little bit damp. So I'll give you some hints and tips for gluing, but I'm not going to actually glue mine on quite yet. Because you want your pieces to be dry enough when you glue them down that if one of them doesn't sit quite right and you need to put a weight on it, a book or something, it's obviously not going to mess up the paint. So if the paint's still tacky, you can't put something heavy on it. And I feel like we've done a lot of painting of pieces, and so I'm just worried that it might not be 100% dry. So I'm thinking we're not going to glue at the end of the video today. So that's what I'm feeling. Oh, you painted one on the wrong 3 and counting. And Kimberly painted on the wrong side too. Oh, well, just flip it over and paint the other side, right? But that's why, you know, I tried to help y'all out. I numbered the backs. I tried, right? At least they're small pieces, right? I'm glad y'all are having fun with it. All right. So all my pieces are painted. I'm going to pull the round back up and I'm going to dry brush it. If you just want it solid white, you might want to double check and see if it needs a little extra touch-up paint anywhere. It might. I mean, white just takes more to cover, right? So if you're keeping it solid white, you might want to actually do another coat in places. All right, let me make myself some room here. All right. I have all this teal paint left. It's so pretty. I can't waste it. All right. You can, with your metal brush, we're going to dry brush, you can pick whatever color you want. On the picture for the craft kit, I think I used a brown to dry brush it. You can use the bronze if you've got some of that left. I mean, dry brushing takes such little paint. You should kind of be able to pick from any of them. But you could do orange for dry brushing if you wanted to do that, add a little color. You could even use the teal if you wanted to add that color to it. So really, any of these you can dry brush with. Mine's still a little bit damp, but that's okay because the dry brushing technique doesn't matter if it's still a little bit damp. I like doing the dry brushing with like browns, grays, like neutrals. So just to jazz it up just a little bit, I'm going to dry brush with the bronze. So it's still kind of a neutral, but it's a sparkly neutral. So I'm going to get out some of this bronze here. You will want a plate or something that you can dab off on. And then you can stick your brush in the little paint cup. You need to dab it off, because for dry brushing, you're going to have very little paint on your brush. And if you've done a craft kit with us before, I've dry brushed before. It's one of my favorite techniques to add a little dimension, but easily, right? So I get a little paint on the tip of the brush, that's a lot. And then I'm gonna wipe it off by dabbing, right? Dab a lot, because you'd rather have not enough than too much. All right, and then with a very light hand, I'm just gonna come straight across and brush some on. And you can see, I mean, it didn't leave much, right? I can come back and do it darker later if I want to. All right, I've got some, I'm dabbing off again, and real lightly. And I try to make it go fairly straight across, so it'll go like the same direction as the words. Start with a light hand, and then you can always go back and kind of push the brush down more. But first start with a light hand, because you do have some paint there right on the tip of the brush. And don't freak out if you get too much and you think it's too much. You can always come back when we're done with white and go white dry brush back over it. But I really don't think there's like a too much thing with dry brushing. It just looks different, but it's not. Oh, see, I got kind of heavy down there. A little heavy-handed on the bottom. So I'm going to come back to the top, since I got a little heavy-handed down here on the bottom, and do a little bit more on the top so it kind of matches. Don't forget the edges. Go out to the edges so they get some too. I love this bronze. Give it a little sparkle. Okay, so this is way more dry brushing than I did on the original picture that you got, right? But totally up to you what you want to do. You could even kind of lay your pieces on it once it's dry and be like, do I like this effect, or do I want to put more white on? Let me give you an example if you wanted to put more white on, kind of how that would work, right? So if you felt like, whoops, I overdid it. Holy cow. Speaking of overdoing it, way too much paint. I'm having so much fun. I'm like, let's try all the things. Let me show you this. Let me do that. I really need to get back over my laptop designing stuff and cut it on the router and laser for orders. But this is fun too. All right, so I've done the dry brush technique with the white. I've dabbed it off. And then you just go right back over where you feel like kind of some of the thick parts of the bronze are that you might not like. And it definitely lightens it back up. And it takes away, essentially, some of that bronze. You could even use a second color if you wanted to. Right, if you just decide you wanted to add some orange or some teal or the brown, you could do that. But I'm pretty happy with how mine looks. So I'm gonna stop there. It looks kind of weird as a round just with this dry brushing on it. But if you've done these craft kits or the signs, you know, things with me before, you know, once the words and everything get on it, it looks great. All right, I'm gonna let that dry a second. Grab out your jute. You should have one kind of short piece and one much longer piece. All right, the shorter piece is just to be able to hang it. So you're going to stick it through the 2 holes at the top and tie it in the back. So then you've got a hanger for it. This one is to make our bow. I decided to go with a simpler, much more rustic bow. Because the hello, I put it higher up here. If we did a big bow, it would cover that up anyways. I really liked the sign itself and didn't think it needed like a big full-size fabric bow. So here's what you're gonna do with the jute. Leave whatever you want as a tail, probably about 6 to 8 inches. You don't want to do too much more than that. Okay, and you're gonna hold that. That's gonna become the middle of our bow. So you're gonna do 1 loop, and then this loop on the other side. All right, try to make them about the same size, but it's like a floppy jute bow. It's okay. Doesn't have to be nearly as perfect, right? And then another loop. You're going to end up with 3 loops on both sides. All right, so you do the loop, and then you're just continuing to pinch between your thumb and your forefinger. All right, so I've got 2 loops on each side. Now I've got my 3rd loop, kind of keeping them a pretty similar length here. And then my 3rd loop on this side. All right, so I've pinched it here. I've got 3 loops on this side and 3 loops on that side. They look pretty similar. I feel like those loops were a little bigger, so I'm going to move my pinch over a little bit. All right, so I'm pinching right there, so now I feel like the loops are about the same size on both sides. And you've got your 2 tails hanging down. Whichever tail is the longer one, you're going to wrap around 2 times. Sorry. Space there. All right, wrap it around once, twice, and then your other tail, you're going to tie a knot with the tail that you just wrapped around the center. Use your teeth. That's the only way it works. I swear, you just have to. And then tie that knot. So now it's wrapped around the center. You got your 2 tails. Pull that a little bit tight again. You've got 3 loops on each side, 2 tails. It's a fabulous little rustic bow that you're going to put on the top of your sign there. So yeah, I've still got some damp spots, so I'm not ready to glue. Plus my teal is still wet. Something about that teal, it is not wanting to dry as fast. But you'll see that once your paint dries, the lines are a little bit easier to see, but I understand that you can't see every single one perfectly well. I can etch them a little bit darker, but I'm afraid sometimes I'm doing it like etching the lines too dark. So it's kind of trying to be careful with how dark I etch the lines when I do it for you guys. But if you're in good lighting, you should be able to see the etched lines so that you can line up your hello. And then, oh, my little jute twines. And then your pumpkin. we go. That line there helped me see that I had flipped my in upside down. Same thing with the eye too. You can tell it does matter. If you want to match the lines perfectly, it does matter whether you do it this way or that way. The top's a little bit longer. There. Alright, it is coming together. Where? Oh, there's my stem. Where'd my stem go? There it is. Take a minute. You gotta kind of look real close to see the lines. But again, I kind of like that because I don't want them to show after you've got it glued all down. So, because you know, it's hard to glue it exactly where the lines are. You can also pull up a picture of the craft kit of the month off the website and look at the picture too to help you. And then once you've grabbed the right piece, then the lines kind of show themselves a little bit more. So I was just going to go ahead and put mine on here. Like I said, I'm not gluing it yet, but at least they're going to be in the right place so we can take a glimpse at our final product. And then I'll be ready to glue them down and I'll know exactly where they go once I'm ready. This gluing is going to take a little bit longer than the other ones because there's so many pieces, but the reward is awesome because this sign is adorable. There we go. All right, bronze pumpkin 1. Start with the stem. I did get the right little piece for that pumpkin one. It fits, yay! Right, and our third and final pumpkin with the funky little stem. I also wanted to go ahead and do this to help y'all when you start trying to line yours up. If you see mine here, you'll know, you're looking at the pieces about where they go. There we go. Let's see, what else do we have? This one. And this one. And this last little funky shaped piece here. Kind of fits inside the stem there. All right, so not glued down yet, obviously, but I've got it all lined up. Yay! So from here, gluing will go a little bit easier, right? I'm just gonna pick up one piece at a time and glue it down. But you can see with the little dry brushing I did, what that adds to it. I like it. You could even go a few steps further if you wanted to dry brush onto the pumpkins, right? You could take the bronze and put a little bit of that on the orange. You could do a little bit of white on the teal or the bronze on the teal. You could do a little bit of the orange on the bronze, right? If you wanted to kind of make the whole thing even a little more rustic, you could definitely do that. So, sorry, I was concentrating so much putting the pumpkins down. Looks like we've got some comments. Oh yeah, so Jane/Keely, you heard the explanation about the ribbon, right? Yeah. So I like that because I feel like it doesn't take away from the sign, but it needed a little something up top, but I didn't want a big old bow. I like to keep my signs fairly simple, and I do usually put a bow on everything. But I don't do like the over-the-top painting with tons of colors and super elaborate. I still like a pretty simple, clean, farmhousey sometimes look. So that's why I did that here. When you get ready to tie this on, you're gonna go through the 2 holes and tie it around on the back. And you'll want to go through, shoot, we should have done that before we tied the knot. You can loosen back up that knot in the center. Slide this one through. Then tighten the middle knot back up. You might even want to double knot that middle knot. Right, so now this was the hanger I just slid through. And now we can go through and tie, and the bow will be right there, and then you'll have a hanger to hang it with. So there you go. I'm gonna glue this on later and get this one finished. Let me know, having trouble getting the twine in. Yeah, I should have, now thinking back on it, I should have included a pipe cleaner, so you didn't have to put the twine in. If you can't get the twine in, don't worry about it. Find something. I know, Keely, you got some crafty stuff around your house. If you have a little piece of pipe cleaner, twist tie, another piece of simple twine or something, you can go ahead and tie this on, right? So you'll have this sticking out of here. Then you can use the pipe cleaner, twist tie, twine, whatever, and tie it through one of the holes. I should have included a pipe cleaner though, because then you could just use this pipe cleaner through the hole. I've learned that. Always include a pipe cleaner. There's always a need for a pipe cleaner. Am I right? So hopefully you can make that work. Find a way to attach it. You can always hot glue it if you want it to also. Hot glue always works. All right. Show me your pictures when you're done. I want to see how adorable it looks. Or post it on your page and tag Julie's Wood Crafts, or post it on Instagram and tag Julie's Wood Crafts. But yeah, I do put the twine through both the holes. Kind of twist it so it'll go through the hole. I think maybe I should start making these holes a little bit bigger. Pull it through, making sure I get all the pieces. Here we go. Do a little twist to make it extra tight there around the end and shove that through the hole. Double knot it there. So we've got our loop to hang it by. And then, like I was saying, if you want a hot glue, or if you want to grab yourself a pipe cleaner, twist tie, something like that, you could attach it through there, right? Or you could even take the 2 pieces here, like I said, untie it, and then tie it around this piece of twine so it'll hold it here. Yeah, that was my bad for not including something better to hold it. So I'm gonna untie my knot I did, wrap it around here, and then just tie my knot back. But if you've got a pipe cleaner, that's the way to go. I totally should have included a pipe cleaner. Totally my fault for missing that. Pull it tight here. My loops keep wanting to slide. There we go. Kind of mess with it a little bit. Got to pull some of the loops back out if they get pulled.
When I get to the yard, we don't offer it.
There. I think I've got it pretty tight now. There we go. Yeah, seriously. Keely, I hope you were still watching and saw that. She's not gonna let me forget that. I was gonna hold it up and show you how beautiful it was. Well, there you go. Didn't I know I didn't glue them on? Look, the hello's stuck there. Oh yeah, well, I think that's an appropriate way to finish the video, right? With me having dumped it all off. I'll glue it on. Y'all glue it on. Thank you for the laugh. I appreciate that. All right, so we went over a little bit because I was spending time on the bow and dumping stuff off the door hanger. But when you get yours glued on, please share a picture. I would love to see it. Oh, I'm still cracking up at myself. People who like know me know this is like, of course you did. Oh, I hope y'all have a great Thursday. I am getting together with girlfriends tonight to do some axe throwing. So I am hoping to have a fabulous night tonight. I hope you guys have a great day too. Thanks for sticking with me. If you rewatch, comment. Tell me how ridiculous I am for dumping everything off my door hanger. Don't. I already know that. So anyways, I appreciate y'all sticking around. I appreciate y'all doing the rewatch. I just appreciate y'all. And I hope you have a great Thursday. Bye.